again.
Our third podcast.
Our third podcast. Oh my gosh, Marian, thank you so much for joining us again. Today we have a very special twist on our conversation because we're going to get personal. We're going to do my astrological star chart, which I've never done and I've never seen, and I'm very excited to do.
Well, it's very interesting.
It is very interesting.
Yes.
So before we dive into all the personal stuff that's going to be uncovered inside of my star chart, let's first talk about what is an astrological star chart.
Today we're going to be very simple because I don't want to scare anybody off, because there's so much to know about astrology and there's so many layers to it that you could study it for your whole lifetime and never really know everything there is to know. Okay. So we're going to pretend this is astrology 101. Simple stuff. Okay, Miss Physicist?
Okay. Treat me like I'm 5.
Perfect. Astrology right here.
Perfect.
So what we're going to do is we're going to start with, what is astrology? It's the study of the planets and how they affect us emotionally and psychologically.
And you have this piece of paper and it has all this good stuff on it.
Astro.com, and it's an astrology site where you can actually keep the charts that you create for free.
Okay.
I said for free. All you need is the exact time of your birth, AM or PM, the exact time. You need the day of your birth, and you need the city of your birth. You just plug those 3 things into astro.com and it will print out your chart. It will ask you first what chart you want. You want to get the ascendant chart. That's the first one they provide.
Okay.
You're going to be given a chart that's going to tell you your sun sign, which we all know, your moon sign, which is about all of your emotions, and your ascendant sign is how other people see you.
Do you feel like the work that you do with star charts helps you as a therapist?
I was studying astrology and I was learning how to do charts.
Yes.
And I asked some people I knew who lived across the street from my sister, who were friends of theirs and their cul-de-sac. And I asked if I could do their birth chart. And when I did his chart, and I don't remember what planet it was, but it was in the, I'll never forget, it was in the 8th house. It was sexual deviations, which it turned out to be true immensely. Well, I loved practicing transpersonal psychology, which is Jungian, Carl Jung. And he was all about metaphysics. And I love metaphysics. You know, and I'm drawn my whole life. I was that little girl in the library looking up witchcraft. You know, I was drawn to things that were mystical and magical. Each house has a theme. The first house is about our ego, about ourself. It's insight into self. The second house is about finances, possessions, relationships with money. The third house is about communication. The fourth house is about your family, your home, and your issues and your life with your mother. Your fifth house is about procreation and romance. Your sixth house is about employment and ambitions. Your seventh house is about all your relationships and partnerships throughout your life. Your 8th house is about sexuality, endings, and beginnings. Your 9th house is about your intellect. Your 10th house is about goals and your father issues. Your 11th house is things that you wish for, hopes and fears. And your 12th house is about karma, things that happened to you before you ever came on planet Earth. From the moment you were born, that is the blueprint to your life. That is your soul's journey's blueprint. The main 12 planets, there's more planets than 12, but the main 12 planets that astrology deals with that are placed in each house affect who you are and show who you are and where you're going.
So now we're going to get into the actual personal stuff here.
Yes.
Okay.
Embrace myself. The world is going to get to know you better.
Oh, I love this.
It's all
I'm
connected.
so excited. I'm
really
also nervous because we're diving in.
But it's all good news.
Okay.
It's all good news. The first house of your chart is empty.
Okay.
And what that means, it's actually a compliment. when you look at your chart and a house is empty, it means karmically you've done that work. You've lassoed your ego and tamed your ego. People that have out of control egos always have to be right, always have to get the last word. People that need to do that work, if they have planets in that house, that's the work they need to do, is to calm down that ego, because we can't let our ego run our life. Our ego is in our third chakra.
Yeah, we were talking about on our first podcast together, chakras and healing chakras, and the ego within the lower part of our chakra.
It's the lower energy. And what's fascinating is the 12 houses go along with the chakras and the tarot cards. The second house has 2 planets in it. The 2 planets are Mars, and you have the sun in your second house. Your second house is about your finances. So Mars is aggressive and destructive. Okay. And Mars will you'll get something going with money and finances, and then it gets turned down. But because your sun is in your second house, good insight into self, and you did what you did, you finished the job.
Mars might not be the best thing when it comes in terms with money.
No.
But because sun is involved, it means it brings a lot of light to the decisions that I make around finances.
You have a healthy attitude.
A relationship with money.
I do. Actually,
I know you do.
I'm so happy you picked
The
up on
sun
that.
is in your second house. You don't worry about it.
I don't worry about it.
I
It
never
comes
have.
and goes. It
It's like
flows.
a wave for me. It's like energy.
Flows.
Yes.
Yeah. Yes.
If you look at manifestation,
Yes.
you completed something and now you're looking for something new to manifest.
Yes.
You have to do the steps to create the wealth. So your third house, this blows my mind. The third house is about communication, and Mercury is in your third house, and Mercury is the planet of communication.
Okay.
So tell me about your history with communication. You're obviously a good communicator.
Okay, I had a very weird experience recently where I was in a crystal shop, there was a psychic, and she said, you're a great communicator, you should learn how to channel. And it was just a really bizarre experience because she didn't know anything about me, and I do love communication. I light up around communication and anything to do around communication.
Your third
2 days
house
ago.
is about communication.
I know. So
When?
communication's always felt like a mission and a purpose for me to elevate, to enlighten my communication so that I can bring positive messages to the world. It's always felt that way.
Of course it has. It's your soul contract.
Thank you.
Okay,
Thank you,
so
Marian.
I have good news. The fourth house is about your family, and it's about your home and mother. Okay, and your fourth house is empty.
Okay.
And that's like first chakra stuff too.
Okay.
Home, family, and mother. You've healed all that.
Wow. I love my mommy.
What comes in is that you came in to help her do her work.
Possibly.
That's what I felt when I did your chart. Karmically, the slate is literally clear.
Oh, wow. That's a relief.
Okay, so now we're at the fifth house, and the fifth house is procreation and romance.
My favorite, romance.
So your
Okay.
fifth house has Pluto,
Okay.
and Pluto is about transformation and rebirth. And the tarot card for Pluto is judgment. So even though romance and procreation hasn't happened yet, you can't judge yourself.
Okay, thank you.
It evolves. Pluto is about rebirth, and judgment is about second chance.
Okay.
And you can't judge yourself because something is synchronistically taking place.
I mean, it's there.
It's
always
coming.
it's always in the ether. This love, the love information is always there for all of us, like the romance. But for me, it always felt like it's timing.
When I look back on my life and relationships that I had,
Yeah.
I realized they came at the right time. I never forced anything because I was always so busy making things happen. But when they did happen, I can say I learned lessons. I taught them, they taught me, and then they prepared me for my beloved bride. Okay, so the sixth house is employment and ambitions. And what's interesting about the sixth house is you have Saturn which is discipline. You are incredibly disciplined
When it
and-
comes to employment.
in what you've done. You have been incredibly disciplined. And the tarot card for Saturn is the World, which means you're closing a chapter and you're opening a new chapter. Like you moved up here.
Yes.
The World card, if you get that card, that means you have come to a place, you've closed that chapter, and now you're moving on and you're a fresh start. And started at Cuesta
Yes.
and started your life here. That was like you closed that door and you opened a new
So
door.
true.
Yeah, I always know where I want to go and how I want to do it. And I am disciplined when I get a job or employment. I see it all the way through to the very end.
Also, in your sixth house
Yes.
is Uranus. And
Okay.
Uranus is about sudden shifts and movements.
That makes so much
And-
sense.
Yeah, the seventh house is relationships and partnerships. So it's not romantic, it's relationships that you're gonna have with people who want to bring you on board with things.
Yeah.
That want to bounce ideas off of you, like we have a partnership, you know.
Yes.
So what's interesting is Neptune is all about the sixth chakra. It's about dreaming and fantasizing and manifesting and being intuitive.
All of my mentors that I've ever entered my life, it's always been like an intuitive connection. I knew where to
That
be
you
at the right time.
manifested.
Yeah. I'm always in the right place, right time when I'm supposed to meet somebody, and I know I'm supposed to be there.
And that's old soul stuff. Okay, so the next house, the eighth house, is about your sexuality, endings and beginnings.
I'm very curious about this one.
Your eighth house is empty.
Oh my gosh. So I'm clear. I don't have any problems there.
No problems. Healthy, normal. Cleared
Oh.
karmically.
My stomach just dropped. I feel
I
like
know.
I went to the doctor's office and they're like, you're fine. Go home. Live your life. Be happy.
So now we have the ninth, which is your intellect.
Okay.
And you have Jupiter in your intellect.
Oh, I love the planet Jupiter.
Jupiter is about growth, expansion, and luck.
Okay.
And the tarot card for Jupiter is the Wheel of Fortune. That means everything spins in your favor because you're smart.
I feel like I want to cry because I'm probably gonna cry. It's
I
so
too.
you're like you've been so on point this whole time. It's like I'm speechless, but the Wheel of Fortune card has been coming out for me for the last year. Every time I pull tarot,
Because everything's going to spin in your favor.
what is yours will always be yours. So let it go and don't worry. I'm gonna cry. Don't worry about it.
Your chart doesn't lie. We connect to the Wi-Fi signal of angels and celestial beings and just all those little helpers that we have out there. And you're following your bliss, as Joseph Campbell would say. And 1,000 little beings are helping you and moving you forward in this new journey.
Okay.
You're on the right path.
Oh, thank you so much.
Okay, now our 10th house is about your goals and father issues. Slate clean. Slate clean.
Okay, that's surprising.
I've never had that before in a chart I've done, and I've done hundreds of charts for people.
Okay.
I've never, because I usually know people's backstories before I do their chart.
Again, very interesting you say that that house is clear, because when I was little and I was going through my childhood experiences, I was very able to see a better, different future.
And you had work to do. You
Yes.
came to do this work, and on a
Okay.
soul level, your higher self was telling you that when you needed a pep talk.
I'm shocked.
It's a miracle.
And it's been so accurate.
Okay, so now your 11th house is what you wish for.
Hey, I'd like to know that.
So you have a north node in your 11th house, and your north node means it's the work you came into this life to do.
My work being in the 11th house, which is major wish, it could mean that it's trusting myself, having no doubt that I can make my wishes come true.
That's right. So your 12th house
Yes.
is your karma. It's the house of karma. And your two planets are Cryon, which is the wounded warrior, which is the wounds you came into this life to heal.
Okay.
So that means you've healed them. And you have Venus, the planet of love,
Oh,
in your house of karma. So you came here to heal lacking love. And you
Okay.
came here and found and will continue to find love on multiple levels,
oh,
not just heart-centered partner love,
but all kinds
all
of love.
of love.
I love love.
I even wrote a book about love.
So
I didn't know that.
yeah, I did.
It's about how if you follow the laws of quantum physics and natural laws of the universe, you can find your soulmate.
Available on Amazon.
It is. It is.
Love is oozing in your veins
I love that.
and your 12th house.
Oh my gosh.
That's so cool.
That is so cool.
If Cryon is in your mother house or your father house, that's a problem. And a lot of people's charts that I do,
Yeah.
they have like 5 planets in mother, 6 planets in father, and then
Oh.
1 planet over somewhere else. Like, you know, it's because they came here to heal family stuff.
A lot of my houses were empty.
It's incredible news.
For me, the benefit today was just the astonishing validation, and also so much was accurate about my life. I'm like laughed and cried the whole thing. But for someone else, what are some of the biggest benefits of doing an astrological star chart?
People that are stuck and they don't feel like things are happening, that if they look at their chart and they see, it's like a map of where they're going.
Okay.
And it's also a map of where they've been, not just in this life, but in past lives. So it's very helpful for them, and it
Yeah.
validates what they're going through, and it shows them things are going to get better. We have to come into this life to heal. We all have something to heal.
Yes, we do.
It doesn't matter what it is, but we have to come, we all come in wounded. And as you get older, you realize what that wounding is. And when you look at your chart, it's optimistic that you're going to move through that pain, that wounding, and be a better person. And that's what it's all about. Or, as I believe in reincarnation, you're going to come back and repeat all those lessons back over.
Is there anything else you want to tell our cosmic audience?
I want everybody to know too,
Yeah.
that if you study and learn about yourself and your planet placements, then you will grow and evolve.
I'm thrilled. I feel like a new person.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you so very, very much for joining us on our
thank you.
big Omni exclusive interview with you on the Omni channel. You were absolutely incredible. Your energy was amazing.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for inspiring all of us to be better, not only here on planet Earth, but also our cosmic selves. Mwah!
Until
Mwah.
next time.
My pleasure.
Let's do it again.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes.